Same bands going out: Oriana, Syndra, and Graves, I believe, for the blue team, and Master Yi, Tryndamere, and I don't remember the last band. Lulu, I guess, for the red team. And then Canadian Bacon was on the Caitlyn, and Nami was the bot lane versus Janna, and Relin picked Elise. I didn't get to that yet. So Elise is a much stronger early ganker than red team has had so far in this game. If Elise can get into lane and land the cocoon, it's nearly a guaranteed kill if she's ganking someone with follow-up. That is terrifying for the other team early on in the game, especially before they have tier 2 boots to dodge that cocoon. They have a great initiation as well. They have two strong, hard, long-range CCs in Cocoon and the Varus ult from Young Banshee. Noisy has picked a different top laner, I believe, every single game so far, so we'll see what he goes on this time. Hovering just about every champion you could feasibly send top lane. We'll see what he ends up deciding to play. And Kaito Kid goes ahead and picks up the Lee Sin for his team. Lee Sin, also a great early ganker. This is probably going to be a much more volatile game than we saw last game. Last game was both teams played very safe, not a lot of action in the first parts of the game. It was a very team fight oriented game, and both teams played very cautiously in those team fights. This game, I think, is going to snowball a lot faster one way or the other. Whoa, hovering the Rammus pick as their top laner, I believe. Interesting pick. Not something that I'm personally familiar with, Rammus top lane, but I could see how it could be good, especially against an AD heavy team like Fiora and Varus. Fiora coming in for Noisy on the top lane. He finally decides to lock in his choice. Fiora is a high skill cap, high damage, high impact character. So if Noisy can go off this game, he can definitely carry his team on the back of a high damage character like Fiora. Zirion opting to go for the Nasus. A pretty good shutdown for Fiora if he gets ahead early, but that is unlikely to happen without a lot of jungle pressure from the Lee Sin. Nasus, notoriously weak early game character. He wants to sit back and farm up his Q before he gets any real strength. He needs a couple items and some stacks on his Q before he can do anything in team fights. Until then, you can expect to see him just farming up hard top. So if Noisy pulls off good TP ganks and puts pressure on the map, he can snowball the game for his team while Nasus is trying to get up to a sufficient power level. Lollilicious locks in the Anivia. I believe he's an Anivia player. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I remember someone banning Anivia against him before. And he is also a strong player on the red team. So Anivia with excellent clear and stall tactics, along with extreme kill pressure if she can land her Q, is a strong pick to round out the red team. They have a really good pick team in either Varus ult or Varus ult or Elise Cocoon into the Anivia Q for chain CC and monster damage. So any pick is nearly guaranteed death, unless they get the Nasus later on in the game. Everyone else on the blue team will die to that combo. So we're gonna go ahead and have a 3-minute delay before we can head into the game because we're not Riot Games, so we don't get special clients. It should be interesting to see which jungler. I think this game is going to be decided on which jungler puts the most pressure on early and where they decide to put that pressure. Strong ganks from either jungler will lead to a kill, and a snowball mid lane on that Anivia could be terrifying, but I think top lane is the place to go to shut down that Nasus and start Noisy on his pain train. Other than that, bot lane is going to be playing pretty safe from both sides. You'll see some poke coming out from the Caitlyn Nami team, but Janna shields and Varus has poke of his own, so both teams have high sustain and high poke. Probably going to be a very boring lane this game, unless there's a lot of jungle intervention. If they're left to their own devices, they're probably just going to poke and heal and poke and heal and poke and heal until late game comes around. Top lane is going to be where I think a lot of the action is going to be happening. Noisy's an excellent player in his own right. I don't know how good Zirion is. I have not seen this blue team play yet today, but if Noisy is able to snowball his lane, I think he can close out the game early for the red team. This is also a best of 3, so if it doesn't work out this game, they have another chance. And I believe third place is in the money for this tournament, or in the prizes. We have a lot of prizes generously donated by Bloody Gaming, and I think the winning team gets keyboards or something? I'm not sure. Keyboards, yeah. So, or headsets or something. Is it just first place, or? So first place gets, and then what's in the prizes? First and second, or third? What's?
Gets keyboards like second. They're out of choice between
So, and then third gets whatever the last prize is?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this match is for, or this set, I guess, this best of 3 set is for the third and fourth place. So this is for getting into the prizing. Fourth place, I believe, does not get anything, so you definitely want to be on the winning side of this match. And so, with 10 seconds left on the delay, we will be heading into the match shortly. Interested to see the level 1 strats from both of these teams. Anivia starting Q is terrifying level 1. If she can get that pick, especially with the low vision of the jungle areas in this game, Anivia can get a crazy Q off and could potentially pick up more than 1 kill for her team in the beginning. So we'll see what the teams end up deciding to do. But so far, most of the teams have decided to play it safe in the beginning. Not a lot of invades coming out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and load into the game. So it looks like Zirion is at least a plat player, so the mismatch should not be as bad as it was previously. Noisy, one of the better players, period, in this tournament. So most of his lanes have been rather mismatched. We'll see what Zirion is able to do against him in this game. Insta-pause. Feels good, man. Kaito Kid has left the game and reconnected. Lots of action. Okay. What's happening? What's happening? Everyone's disconnecting. So, no league tournament is complete without some technical problems. This game is built on mountains and mountains of spaghetti, and some of it comes tumbling down sometimes. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Looks like unpause has come through. Game is resuming, and we're off to the races. Blue team. So we're gonna go ahead and get the overlay set up for you guys in the beginning while they're running out. Go ahead and put the scoreboard up and take the timeline away. Nope, wrong one. Yeah, nice. All right. And no flaming. Sounds good. All right, so red team starting off, getting to the bush, their side of the bush quicker than the blue team. Blue team looking a little unorganized, not exactly sure what they want to do in the beginning. Red team camping that bush, but pings coming out, caution pings coming out from the blue team. They know they're there. I think they spotted off of that ward in the beginning. In any case, looks like blue team's going to back off, and red team is going to as well. Gonna be a relatively normal start to the beginning of this game. Not a lot of teams have been going out and putting out wards in the beginning. It's something you see a lot in pro play that we haven't seen a lot today. In general, just from coordinated teams, you see them go out in the beginning and place wards deep in the jungle, stuff like that. In this case, probably not that necessary. I don't think anyone's going to run any lane swaps or anything. But yeah, so going into the beginning, looks like I'm just going to call him Canadian Bacon. I don't want to say those vowels in a line. It sounds really hard. Canadian Bacon is going to start as red, and both teams are going to start bot side for their jungler. Good leashes coming out from both teams, giving their jungler as good of a start as they can. Relin looks like he's not going to take any damage at all, taking his blue. Takes one shot. Bot lane heading down, and the match begins. Top lane already off to a start. They're hitting each other. Noisy coming out on top of that trade, but not by much. Nasus, with his lifesteal passive, is able to heal off any incidental damage he takes like that, but I know Noisy's not going to let off of him. Noisy knows that he needs to shut that Nasus down as quickly as he can. Weak spot is on the Nasus this time. Trade could come out big. Oh, does not quite get the Q into the weak spot on the Nasus. Unfortunate. Oh, on an easier side to hit this time. Let's see if he can swat it. Nothing. Top lane both looking real damaged. I think they're both going to play it a little safe. Shove in. Pandantics taking a lot of damage bot lane. It's a rough place to be in as a Nami. You need to use a lot of your mana just to keep your health up. In that case, her heal is not cheap. But looks like she's already back on the right track. Junglers taking their second buffs and looking to rotate. Top lane looking to be a prime spot to rotate to. These guys are slugging it out. Noisy already has to back. It's not a great place to be in against a Nasus lane. You really don't want to give him any opportunity to get farm by himself. You need to shut him down early as quickly as you can. Harass coming out from Nami. Canadian Bacon taking his jungle camps. Relin finishing up jungle camps as well. I think we're going to get some backs from the junglers, and then, Relin looking to invade on the Wraith side. Or Raptors, sorry, they're Raptors now. Wow, gets the... Beautiful. Scouts out the jungler, sees where he's at. He's going to go ahead and take these Raptors for himself. Unfortunately, it looks like Elisa's rotating back down. She might see him. This could be a sketchy place for him to be in. You really, really don't want to get stuck against an Anivia. Captain Tiltmo running the Vel'Koz mid against the Anivia. Interesting lane. Not something you see a lot of, I feel like. And it's really going to come down to who lands their CC in that matchup. Vel'Koz and Anivia both have hard-to-hit CC moves, but if they hit them, you're almost guaranteed to die if you're a squishy. Relin coming in for the gank on Zirian. I don't think he's going to be able to get it. Zirian backing off smartly, and top lane trades right back. It looks like Noisy was able to find a more favorable trade that time. He didn't take as much damage, and he's able to push Zirian out for at least the time being and put some pressure on him so he doesn't get to free farm. Zirian forced to use his E, not something you want to have to do early on as Nasus, but sometimes you need it just to be able to secure CS. Good zoning from Noisy, keeps him off of that cannon minion. Cannon minions are worth double the amount of stacks for Nasus, so a normal minion gives Nasus 3 damage on his Q, and a cannon minion or champion or large monster in the jungle will give him 6. So denying those cannon minions is important in any matchup, but extremely important in the Nasus matchup. Relin taking that Scuttle Crab away from Canadian Bacon, and also just giving him a little love tap just to show him who's boss. Young Banshee and Anaida are looking like they're kind of losing the poke war at this point. It's kind of what I expected. Caitlyn does not have to commit as much resources to get poke, and her damage is a lot harder to avoid than Varus's. Varus's damage is easier to avoid, not that easy to avoid, but easier to avoid than the Caitlyn auto attacks from a range with the Nami E. Now, I'm interested to see what the Nami is actually maxing, because in this matchup, as Nami, I actually like to max E. It looks like she's maxing Ebb and Flow, her W, which is the standard thing to do, but you can actually put out a ton of pressure on your lane opponents by maxing your E in this case. It does a surprising amount of damage. Bot lane looking to be a hotspot right now. Red side is looking so damaged, but I think they want to go in off of this. Relin coming in, looking for the Anivia cocoon. We're zooming in. Yeah, nothing happens anyway. But we're zooming in. Relin ends up having to back off, loses a little bit of mana, but not too much of his time. Not a bad situation for the red team. It allows them to regain a little bit of their footing. Anida is still extremely low. One good Caitlyn auto Q could kill her, and she needs to be extremely cognizant of the traps. Relin coming back down behind for the gank this time. Canadian Bacon picking up the kill on Young Banshee, getting first blood, but Relin's coming in from behind. He decides to back off. Nope, coming back. Oh, gets the... Oh! Lollilicious misses that Q. Unfortunate. He was almost there in time. Canadian Bacon dropping extremely low, but manages to get out with his life using Safeguard to jump away from that dangerous Anivia E. Close stuff from the red team. Ended up losing out 1-0, but next time, I think they can get it. It was close. Top lane looking extremely similar to how it was looking before. Noisy at half health. Zirian doing work right now. I don't know what he's doing to win this matchup, but I don't think this is an easy matchup to win by any means. Nasus is just extremely weak early, and Fiora is not. A little bit of farming coming out from the bot lane. And Lollilicious just lands that Q and gets so much burst off of it. Captain Tiltmo forced to back off with half of his remaining health. Half of his health remaining, I'm sorry. Anida dropping some wards, getting some control in the bushes over by Dragon. Dragon, I believe, spawns at 10 minutes. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, never mind. It's already spawned. Dragon spawned already, and neither team has looked to rotate to it yet. We'll see which one decides to make the jump. Canadian Bacon with 6. Extremely dangerous for this Anivia. Anivia passive is good against tower dives for the most part, but against someone like Lee Sin can actually get behind and kick. Oh, Captain Tiltmo pops the passive, but I don't think he's going to be able to get enough damage off. Wow, that was way more damage than I thought he was going to get, but still not enough to finish off Anivia. But with 5 minutes on that egg timer, I think, or 6, it's long. It's a long time. He has quite a good opportunity to finish off the kill next time. Noisy having to back off after losing a trade to Zirion again. I was expecting to see some more jungle pressure up top. We haven't seen much, especially on the Nasus side. I think that's actually a failing on Relin's part. Nasus has been pushed up almost the entire game, and Nasus does not have any escapes as a character, so he's an easy gank for a character like Elise with a hard CC skill shot like Cocoon. So I don't know why he hasn't camped top more. It's also extremely important to shut him down. Relin, with both of his buffs heading toward the top side, Noisy initiates, but is losing the trade so far. Noisy down less than half health, with Zirion still at full health. Canadian Bacon comes in for the Q, hits the Q. Good parry from Noisy. Really, really good stuff. Oh, Cocoon comes in from Relin, and that's going to pick up the kill on Canadian Bacon. Good roam from Relin, but extremely good parry from Noisy. That was the winner right there. Blocks that ult from... Oh, sorry. Canadian Bacon doesn't even ult. I think he just blocked the second hit of the Q. In any case, ends up living and getting the kill off on his jungler. Good stuff. Initiation comes in from Young Banshee. Varus ults the Caitlyn, tries to finish it off with a low Q, does not get it. Caitlyn flashes away and ends up finishing the kill with an auto attack that follows. Good stuff from the bot lane. Lollilicious just pushing in on mid lane. Wow. Noisy finished off Zirion. We missed it. That's okay. Noisy ends up finishing off Virion there as well, or Zirion, sorry, as well. Picking up another kill for his team, and red team is now up 3-1. Gold is really, really even. Oh, Varus. Pandantics walks up too close. Oh my god. Young Banshee goes for the flash auto, does not kill, and then dies to Canadian Bacon for it. That is an unfortunate turn of events, but not one that he couldn't have seen coming. That was not a great flash. That's unfortunate for his team. Gets a little overconfident. So one more kill going back to the blue side, and gold leads are entirely vanished. Very even game at this point. No one has gone for any neutral objectives yet. No one has gone for dragon, and no one has gone for a group push on a turret. I think they're not quite ready to let go of lane phase yet, but once the first objective falls, you'll see a lot more team play. Lane phase will be over. Kaito Kid looking to catch up in CS and pulls ahead by a narrow margin. All the lanes actually are extremely close in CS. Nasus ahead of Fiora at this point, which is not great for her. She does have a kill up on him, but Nasus is the late game scaler of the two, so Nasus can afford to give up a kill or two in lane as long as he stacks well. Speaking of which, next time we mouse over him, we can see exactly how many stacks he's gotten at this point. At 12 minutes, you would expect to see at least 200, I would say, if not more. So 117 is not great at this point. Nasus' stacking is obviously slowest in the beginning when his Q has the longest cooldown, but at this point, I would expect to see him have at least 200. Wow, close Q. Close Q from Lollilicious, but does not quite hit. Noisy comes in, ults, Relin comes in with the E and secures the kill. Noisy utilizing the second part of his ult after he gets all 4 hits on the Simon Says minigame. Oh my god. Canadian Bacon saves Captain Tiltmo there by kicking so that Anivia can't put down her ult and get the bonus damage on her E. Really, really excellent play by him. Picks up the kill in a oh no, not another pause. Alright, so another pause comes in. Let's take a look at the game state at the moment. Noisy is now up to 2-0 on Nasus, and is down 8 CS still, not a huge deal. He's going to come back with, I believe, a either a Black Cleaver or a Yumus. And once he does, it's going to be a lot harder for Nasus to deal with him because his armor is going to be less effective, which is what Nasus wants to stack early in this matchup. And if he ends up behind, it can be really hard for him to come back until later on in the game when he has some more gold. The early armor pen items make his first 2 buys, I think, pretty much insignificant. Oh, wow. Unpause comes in, and Janna almost eats a bubble there right off the unpause. A little bit of a cheese strat coming in from the blue team, but it doesn't work out. Canadian Bacon creeping around bot lane, but there's a ward in that bush, so he's spotted. Pigs come out from the red team, and I don't think they're in any danger of dying. He's coming around. Red team not backing off quick enough. He could come in. No. Backed off enough to keep their space from Canadian Bacon. Canadian Bacon is going to have to back off and head toward mid lane. It looks like he's going to try to clear out some wards while the opposing jungler, Relin and Lollilicious, pick up blue buff for the Anivia. Anivia, one of the characters most reliant on getting his blue buff. Or her blue buff, I guess. I don't know. Is Anivia a boy or a girl? Anivia's a bird. Their blue buff. She? Yeah, so her blue buff. Anivia, extremely reliant on getting her blue buff. One of the champions I would say that needs blue buff the most because her ult drains mana per second. So having extra mana regen is extremely important for her. Nasus free farming top right now while Fiora goes down and steals the blue buff away from the blue team. That's a really good move on her part, noticing that the jungler is down bot. She rotates down and takes that blue buff away, making sure that Vel'Koz does not get the same advantage that his team's mid laner gets. Lollilicious.
There's no way we can finish best of 3. We have
Yeah, but let Jose for that one.
No. They're just doing best of 1. You're the PO. You choose.
1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 best of one. Because it's all Jose at that time.
So we're actually running out of time, and we're going to have to do best of ones instead of best of threes, which is unfortunate, but that's all right. It just means that this game matters all the more. Oh my god, Captain Tiltmo comes down, hits that E, and just melts through bot lane. Blue team coming up big the last couple minutes and evening out the game. Unfortunately, top lane is still in a bad spot though. Good flash from Zirian and gets dunked. Noisy does not get the kill, burns a summoner spell, and ends up feeding the character that he's trying to shut down. Really, really good stuff from Zirian, showing that he is not out of the game yet. And now he takes his rightly earned farm while red team recuperates its losses.
Y'all would have had time for best of three if Jose just decided to like end it when Noble was having issues. So it's kind of like
Alright. Nasus ends up taking the first turret of the game, so that's an extra 400 gold to his team. Really, really important objective to get. Caitlyn ult comes out on Janna, but is blocked easily by Young Banshee. Not the best ult, I guess, especially since Janna's able to shield to block the bullet as well. Overall, pretty weak ult coming out from the Caitlyn there. Noisy rotates back top and is looking to push the tower down and even out the game. So we haven't looked much at bot lane yet. Bot lane, Varus is up 1 kill to 0, and up 10 CS, but it's not a huge lead. Luckily for him though, the lethality build is a lot cheaper than the power spike that Caitlyn's looking to go for. Caitlyn needs to buy 2 items before she gets any sort of power spike, really. She's extremely weak until she gets those 2 items, and Varus really only needs the 1. That 1 item does a lot of work for him, whereas Caitlyn really needs that full suite of attack speed, crit, and crit damage to do well. I guess attack damage as well. Noisy coming in to try to finish off the kill, but is not needed as Canadian Bacon goes down to the turret. Zirion's still farming up top, trying to get as big as he can. He's now at 231 damage, I believe. 230 something damage, which is okay. Nasus, I believe, doesn't become really great until around 3 items and 600 stacks. That's when he starts to become, starts to just destroy squishies, which is what they need him to do if he's going to be going into a team fight. Q comes down on Lollilicious, does not do as much damage as I think Nasus was hoping for, but forces him to back anyway. Nasus continuing to farm uninterrupted top lane, while Noisy puts pressure on the map. So Noisy rotated bot lane, picked up a kill on the Nami, and is now going to get a tower for his team. He's putting pressure on while the Nasus is still top lane farming up, and it's a trade-off he's willing to take. And I think as long as he puts enough pressure on, it's a trade-off that's worth it. But if he allows Nasus to farm up too much, he's basically giving away the late game. It's really, really hard to deal with a fed Nasus. People call him a raid boss for a reason. He has so much HP, so much resistances, and so much damage because he only has to build 1 damage item. He only has to build the Triforce or Triforce equivalent, and everything else is just straight defense, and the rest of his damage comes from the infinite scaling he has on his Q. Varus poking with his Q, expected to see from this character. So Varus is, Lee Sin goes deep for that kill and makes it out with his life. Really, really, really strong play coming out from Canadian Bacon. Gets the kill on the Janna and escapes with his life as well. Blue buff going over to Captain Tiltmo, his first blue buff of the game, I believe. And blue team looking to be in a strong position to take the dragon. They're going to go ahead and take the Scuttler first and move on to the dragon. It's an Ocean Drake first. Okay, it's an okay dragon. It's not super great. but good first objective for them. 2 turrets for the blue team, and 1 dragon means that they are firmly in the lead at this point in the game. Especially having open mid. So the most important tower to open is mid, because it opens up more of the map than any of the other towers. By opening up the mid tower, you open up mid on both sides of that tower, and leave yourself an escape route just in case you get stuck back there. Red team really needs to look to even that deficit and take the group up and take the mid lane tower, but also needs to be wary of letting Nasus farm too long in the top lane. Fiora looking to push the wave in and deal some damage to the tower while Nasus runs back, and Anivia just clearing for her team. I think Varus just took the blue buff. No, sorry, he didn't, because blue team took it away from them earlier. Varus just clearing off the mini creeps there to reset the cooldown, the buff timer on the blue buff. It looks like red team is going to group up for the push on mid tower. They are a little faster on the rotation. Fiora waiting in the bush for Nasus up here, going to try to get some damage on him, but bites off a little more than he can chew, it looks like, and just gets decimated by those Nasus Qs. The Nasus Q's already coming in strong for his team. Fiora, with admittedly no resistances, against this buffed up Nasus, and it looks like he thought he was in a better position than he was. Waiting for that Nasus there. Poke coming out from Young Banshee, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make up for their loss of the player. Shield comes out from Janna on the turret. Captain Tiltmo taking a couple tower shots after that Varus Q clears out the minion wave. Red team looking to initiate off of something like a Cocoon or a Varus ult, but only on the right target. Getting a Nasus in one of those is not going to be conducive for their strategy. Relin coming out with the... Oh no, I can't see. Relin comes in with the E and finishes off the Vel'Koz. We unfortunately didn't get to see it, but that's okay. Kaito Kid dies as well, and that is now 5 members of Red Team alive to the 3 of Blue. Red Team is in a strong position to do something with this. Whatever they decide to do, it looks like they're going to shove into the mid turret and then go for the Baron. Nasus is all the way on the other side of the map with no TP up, so, or I don't know how much longer. Yeah, he has too long on that TP to get there, so he has to walk. It looks like he's choosing to just stay and give up the Baron and try to trade some tower damage on bot instead. Heal comes out from Anida to keep her team topped off while they finish off the Baron. Seems like it might have been a little bit of a waste of the ult, to be honest, but her team takes Baron and backs off. Nasus going for the bot turret now. Those Qs just chunk it at this point, but it's not quite enough to finish it off before Lollilicious gets down and clears out with that Anivia wave clear. Captain Tiltmo also wave clearing of its own, saves the mid tower, and blue team decides to push up into the red team's side of the map again. It didn't work out for them so well last time. They need to establish some more vision before they go for that, and it looks like they did this time. They have some wards in the top side of the map, and a couple wards in the bottom as well, so now they have vision around that choke point there. Teleport comes out from Nasus to the top lane in order to save the turret. I don't know if that was a good teleport, to be honest. I think giving up that tier 1 top lane turret would have been worth it for Nasus to be able to split push before the next fight. But he decides to burn his TP to save the turret, and so he does. Poke coming out from both teams. Oh, Q lands from Lollilicious onto the Vel'Koz, and insta-burst kills him immediately. Red team pushes in, takes the tower, and sets their sights on the tier 2 mid tower. Fiora rotating to the bot side of the map. It looks like she's going to push down that tier 1 tower. There's only a tiny sliver of health left on it at this point. She should be able to take it down with no trouble on her part. Q's just flying in. Oh, Cocoon lands onto Zirion and almost kills him. as I was saying before, that he doesn't necessarily die from it, but he takes a lot of damage in the meantime. Bubble from Pandantics takes the kill, seals the kill on Anida, and Canadian Bacon coming in to try to finish off Lollilicious. Nothing happens. Young Banshee dropping low as well. Red team is all on a sliver of health. Canadian Bacon coming in, gets the Q, but not enough damage, and ends up falling to Relin. Really close, but not quite. Red team hanging on by a sliver of health per member, and able to repel the push. Noisy takes the first tier tower and decides, you know what? Sorry. I want the second tier tower as well. Takes that. Kaito Kid takes a huge Q. Oh my god, Captain Tomo taking so much tower damage right now. Almost dies to the tower and Anivia ult alone, but throws out a Q of his own, and Lollilicious just about dies. Anida looking to go in for the slow to allow her team to catch up. Relin coming in the backline, finishes up the kill as her team simultaneously takes out the Caitlyn. Good stuff from the red team going, and they're allowed now to take the second tier mid tower. Red team really running away with this game so far now. They have won every fight, the last 2 or 3 fights, I believe. And blue team really needs to step up their team play or decide to go for a split push strat if they want to stay in this game. Neutral objectives are... Our Dragon has come up now, and red team is going to rotate over to it and take it on their way back to base. Baron, I don't know when... Oh, Baron has... I don't know how long Baron has on it at this point, but since the buff is still on them, it has at least 3 minutes? How long? Do you know how long it is after the buff?
3-minute thing. It's just a 2-minute thing.
Yeah. So... 1 dragon to each team, 15 kills to 11 in favor of red team, and 4 turrets to 3 as well in the favor of red team. By all metrics, red team is in the lead now, having swung back after successful fights, 5v5 fights. Elise has been wrecking havoc on the blue team backline. They really need to peel the Elise off. She just does so much damage. She's 8-2-3. Easily the most fed player on the red team, and is building a solid mix of offense and defense in order to be able to make dives like that. On the other hand, the jungler on the blue team is also fed, but Lee Sin not known for his strong carry status in team fights. He's more of a early spike jungler. He excels at ganking early and snowballing his team to victory. If he doesn't get an early lead, he's not particularly as strong as Elise is at this point in the game. Noisy looking to push even more bot lane, but blue side recognizes and rotates down. Pings go down on Anida to back off as they see blue team rotating around to try to pick her off. Anivia hiding in the bot brush, waiting for someone like Nami to poke their head in, but no luck so far. Oh, there's a control ward in that bush. I didn't even notice. Both teams dancing around the top side of the map now, while the 2 top laners go at it bot lane. Strong rotation from the red team up to the top side of the map to finish off that tower, but blue side is looking to trade the tier 2 mid tower for it. An extremely smart move from them, as red team will have to back off now and defend their turret after. They're able to pick that off before red team can get back in time. Interesting positioning from the red team right now. Noisy is all the way behind the blue team, but unfortunately red team is not able to follow up in time to execute that pincer maneuver. Baron coming up in 1 minute, both teams looking to establish vision. Anida taking a lot of damage from that Vel'Koz. She's probably going to have to back off before this inevitable Baron fight coming up soon. Red team and blue team both backing off to go by in preparation for the team fight that's going to happen at Baron. Alright, red team is able to establish vision on the top side of the map, partly due to the scuttle crab. Oh, no, they didn't get the scuttle crab. It's a word, sorry. My bad. Red team able to establish vision on the top side of the map, and blue team drops their own ward, and both teams now have vision on Baron. Ult comes out from Nami, trying to disengage, but not in time to save the Caitlyn. Caitlyn dies, leaving blue team again in a 4v5 situation. Blue team has had a really hard time keeping all 5 of their members alive before they go for the initiation. Red team has been taking advantage of the pick comp that they have assembled and has been forcing fights when they're already ahead. Canadian Bacon forces the flash on Anida in order to get away. Smart move on her part, also a great move on his part.
3 high plat, mid laners. Doing what I could, but the first 2 games, well, the first game went really bad. That was a cat mid.
Alright, red team looking to shove in mid lane, while blue team is looking to defend. Red team not capitalizing so far on, wall comes out from Manivia, traps Captain Tiltmo, but no punish on it. Captain Tiltmo absolutely should have died there. That was an excellent wall coming in from Lollilicious, and his team just does not capitalize. It's unfortunate. Sirion does pop ult though, so they do not have that for the next fight. Bot is pushing hard for red team as well. Important to keep an eye on. Blue team is going to have to send someone down there to deal with that farm, or they're going to lose that tier 3 turret. Red team keeping the pressure on mid lane, while Young Banshee pokes and his team attempts to get another pick. Canadian Bacon takes that Q, does not take a lot of damage. Canadian Bacon has tanked up extremely large amount, has a lot of magic resist at this point. He's sitting on Merc Treads and that, I forgot the item name. Hex Drinker upgrade, whatever it is. Maw of Malmortis, that's what it is. Yeah, so Lee Sin has a lot of magic resist. Is not going to be dying to those Anivia combos like his squishies are. Relin fishing for that E, almost gets that cross section of the E and the Varus Q at the same time. That probably would have been a dead Nami that it hit. Both teams backing off. Both teams looking over at Baron and Dragon. Dragon spawning in 1 second. Red team going to pick it up easily as they had the superior position at the moment. Noisy unfortunately going to go down though as a trade for that Dragon. Red team needs to watch out for the Baron rotation that's probably going to happen right now. If blue team is smart, they will back and go straight to Baron. Or just go straight to Baron. They should just go straight to Baron. Go straight to Baron, blue team. They're pinging it. They're looking for Baron. Red team out the gate, trying to get to that Baron before blue team has a chance to finish it off. It looks like this Baron is going to go over to blue team. They have a fairly quick Baron taking team, but Relin is in position to attempt to steal. We will see what happens as this pans out. Both teams in position. Wow, Captain Tiltmo takes so much damage and is forced out of the fight. Lollilicious in the front lines, but no member dies from either team. Blue team forced to back off of the Baron though. Red team doing a very good job of defending while a man down. That was an extremely important hold for them. If they had been unable to make that hold, that would have probably been a big swing for the blue team. Red team establishing vision on the top Baron side of the map, while blue team lurks in the bushes nearby. This could be a storm brewing here, but looks like Janna dodges the blue players hiding in the bushes. So they're opting to send Nasus bot against the Fiora again. Fiora, I don't think, can take Nasus at this point in the game anymore. Both players have their TP up though, so if they choose not to fight, both of them are able to rejoin their team after split pushing and putting pressure on a different lane in the map. Red team deciding to sort of just attempt the same thing that they were attempting before and put pressure on the mid lane and the bot lane in order to get a turret up there. Fight going on bot lane. Noisy. Wow, Noisy gets the kill. Beats the raid boss. Really good stuff coming out from him. Relin tanking these Caitlyn shots. I don't know if that's actually a good idea, to be honest. I think just dodging around them would be better. They'd be better suited just dodging around them, but whatever he wants to do. Janna can help with shields at least. Wow. Narrowly misses Kaito. Almost gets that snipe on Varus. Relin taking that Caitlyn ult for his team. Caitlyn ults have not been strong so far this game. Overall, not the best ult in the first place, but yeah, still, it's a hard situation to be in where you're trying to get these ults off on squishies, but tanks just keep blocking them. Noisy just going ham on the bottom turret by himself. 3 members of blue team coming to stop him. Canadian Bacon lands the Q, goes in for the slow. Noisy chooses to fight, popping her ult, gets the heal, and just barely dies before the heal can go off and save her. Thankfully, it was just a distraction, and Red Team is able to pick up Baron off of all 3 of those members chasing around Noisy in the bot lane. Really good play, strong team play coming out from the Red Team. They recognize that 3 members are chasing Noisy, and they go straight to the Baron and take it. Now, Red Team is up a Baron. Noisy, the only member who did not get the Baron buff. The rest of the team has it, and they're going to be looking to push another lane. So they're either going to push bot or top lane. I would imagine they push bot lane, as it is the farthest away from Baron. Anida goes down. Captain Tomo just putting out too much damage with that laser. Kaito Kid helps out as well. Zirian TP's in for apparently no reason. I think he could have just walked over, but I think he was worried that his teammates were going to die. Blue team putting on the pressure mid lane, but red team has the Baron buff still, so their minions are stronger, and teleport comes out from Noisy to bot lane. It looks like he's going to go backdoor right now. They have to send at least...
Considering like they dragged out that game that didn't matter. From the last game for the third place match, and they're doing the first and second place match.
First second is over there.
Yeah.
So they have to send someone bot to deal with that Fiora. Fiora is just going ham on their turrets right now. She's going in, takes the inhibitor turret, does not quite get the inhibitor. She just walked through the entire team. What just happened? Noisy just walked through the entire blue team and ends up on top, getting the kill on Caitlyn and just walking away. Canadian Bacon picks up the kill, and they both go in on Young Banshee. Young Banshee is in a really bad spot right now. He's definitely dead. They end up getting 2 for 2, but that was such a bizarre turn of events. Noisy just walked through the blue team there, completely unharmed.
That match is happening over there.
Red team and blue team ended up with the same amount of players dead, but red team ends up 1 turret up after that. Anida pops ult on accident, I believe. Seems like a fat finger or something. Nasus just farming up now. Can we take a look at? Let's see how many stacks he has now. Nasus above 570 stacks, 579 stacks, damage, which is, that divided by 3. I'm not good at math. I'm sure it's a high number. Anyway, he is going to be...
93 minions. 570. 197 minions?
Yeah, so 197 seems to be the answer. No, that can't be right. It ended in a 9. Anyway, it looks like both teams are going to fight over the Elder Drake this time. Elder Drake, if you don't know, doubles the bonuses of all the dragons that you have so far, I believe, which is really, I think it's even stronger than Baron a lot of the times. Depending on how many dragons you have and what types of buffs you have, it can be stronger than Baron. So it's a really important objective to fight over. Also not easy to take down, fairly difficult to take down, but at this point in the game, both teams should be more than capable of taking it down in a quick enough time. I think Red Team is making a mistake right now by not getting it. They have a free chance to get it right now. Blue Team is forced into their base by the super minions in the mid lane. Red Team should, I think, rotate to Elder Drake and take it really quick and then go back to sieging. This has been a very siege-heavy game. they've spent a lot of time, red team has spent a lot of time on blue's side of the map just trying to take down these inhibitors, and the mid inhibitor and the bot inhibitor. They finally did take down the mid inhibitor, and it looks like they're grouping up for a group blast jump over the wall to take the Elder Drake, but blue team has gotten here in time. Canadian Bacon comes in to try to attempt the steal, but it's not enough. Red team takes the Elder Drake, and unfortunately looks like they may lose. Oh my god. So what happened there is that young Banshee held that Lee Sin in place while Fiora's Guardian Angel went off, and she came back to life and swatted him before she died. Ended up picking up the kill for her team, and this looks like it's going to be the end of the game. Red team has 4 members up, while blue team is down to 1 member in Zirian, and if they go for... Actually, it looks like they might go for the top turret instead. I think they can end right now. They have 20 seconds left. Yeah, so red team decides to go for the Nexus turrets, and I believe they have enough time to end the game before... Yeah, Zirion doing his valiant best to defend, almost takes down Relin, but it's not enough. Red team takes the game and 3rd place in the tournament. Really good job by the red team. They put the noose on and they tightened it slowly and ended up with the victory because of it. Excellent team play.